What is going on, guys? It is your boy Bristol here, and today, guys, I have a video to you about the best trading tips in FIFA 17. Obviously, FIFA 17 hasn't came out yet, but I have experience from all, we'll go 3 FIFAs back, and at one stage, at my best, I ended up making 1 million within a matter of 3 days. So I know what I'm doing, and I've gathered these trading tips from the previous years, and for FIFA 17, as long as all the trading is the same, all the trading features and all that, then all of these features should work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through possibly 10 trading tips, and then at the end of the video, I'm just gonna put them all up on the screen just so you have them right there. And they're all pretty easy to do. Some obviously easier than others. Some bring more profit. Some players or cards in general might take longer to sell, but in general there will always be at least 1 or 2 methods that will work at all times. So let's crack right into it. So at the start of the game, when a game comes out, people want popular players, and normally when the web app comes out, popular players aren't too expensive, and so what you want to do is either get them in a pack, which is unlikely, or you want to trade towards them. And when the game is released, when the game comes out in kind of the US, all players will rocket in price, especially the popular players. So for example, this year I invested in an Aaron Ramsey. So as you see right here, he's 2k, but obviously at the start of the game he was probably anywhere between 5,000 and 6,000 coins, and when the game came out he was about, I believe, 15-20k. So you can make some big profits. Another good one actually was this boy Carlos Tevez. So he was very expensive at the start of the game. You see there 4k. At the start of the game, when the web app was out, he was about 20k. And actually rose to about 80k. Same actually with Dybala. As you see, he's a fairly low rating but pretty decent stats. He's 78 rated. He's only a couple of k now. Back when the game came out, he was about 10k, rose to about 40-50k. So huge profits, and that's the same with Pogba, Marquisio. All these good players, most especially with the Premier League, of course. So yeah, you want to keep these players till the game release. Next tip is the cheap popular players. So what I used at the start of the year was this boy called Mattia De Siglia, and as you see here, he's got fairly decent stats for a non-rare. And at the start of the year, he was probably 500 coins, and so you want to try. And let's just say now he's 700. So let's say now he's 700 coins. What you want to be looking at is getting him for anywhere between 500 550 coins. So you're making 100 150 coins at the start of the game, and it doesn't sound like much, which is obviously with a lot of these methods. However, it all adds up over time, especially if you're mass bidding. That is exactly what you want to do with this method. You want to mass bid 500 550 coins on a player, just whatever player really, which is fairly popular. And that's all good, and make sure you always sell them for 1 hour so that if any price changes you can relist, etc, etc. Also, another good method is the 600 650. It's pretty self-explanatory. With cheap rare goals, for example, I wouldn't really know, is Arnautovic one? Yeah, so for example, 800 coins right here. What you'd be looking to do is bid 600 650 on these, sell them on for 200 coins more, decent profit right there. Occasionally you'll come up with for example, a Marquisio, which you can get 1 or 2 really good deals for really cheap. And again, this is almost like a mass bidding sort of thing, because you want to get a lot of players to make some fairly decent profit. And again, the 59th minute method, as some of you may realize, if you're lucky enough, if you're on one of the popular players, some newbie might not realize that he's going to rocket in price and might sell him for 1,000 coins at the start of the game when his actual price is 5,000 coins. So that is again another good method. Now onto some of the more complex-ish trading techniques, which do take a bit more time, but you can maximize your profits this way as well. So good silver players are always good to look out for, and there are, for example, he's not even going to come up. I'm trying to think which player would, for example, Nathan Redmond's a good example. So he, as you see, he was in the Premier League, and as the start of last season, and he's got good pace, decent dribbling, shooting. These players are really good to bid on that, and as some people don't actually realise that these players may go for a lot, and so they'll list them up for cheap, and etc. Sometimes these players might not get noticed during the bidding at the start of the game, and you can pick them up for really cheap. And they're the same with a lot of other players, some of which being O'Para, as we all know. He's a really pacey centre back at the start of the game. You can get him for fairly cheap, sell him on for huge profits when the game comes out. So good silvers are best. Also, if you're looking for another quality player, when looking at bronze players are also very good. Any that have really high pace, high stats in the Premier League especially, because these players in general take long to sell, and you want to make sure that you get some good players which people will notice, and with these methods often you'll have high rewards. So like I said, O'Para, someone might not notice he's up on sale. His max price at the time is 8k. No one notices him, and everyone scroll past him. You could pick him up for 2k, 3k, 4k, sell him on for 8k, or you can keep until the game comes out when he's probably going for 15k, for example. Another mass bidding technique, in fact, is the chemistry style and position change. So if we head on to consumables, chemistry styles, ones that I like looking at are often Anchor or Catalyst. And so you might see that they're going for 1,000 coins. And so what you'll do, again, you'll put in, say, 700 to 800 coins. You'll mass bid that on all of the chemistry styles, and then you'll pick them up. You'll make 200 coins on each Anchor. And if you pick up 20, we know that is 200 coins, 20. That's 4k. So, again, at the start of the game, doesn't seem like much, but it all builds up. And with the start of the game, that is often how it works, and obviously later into the game you can mass bid on higher players, like Pogba, Ibra, Rooney, all them sort of players, so you can make bigger profits later in the game. Same with position changes, of course, like left wing, left mid to left wing to left mid. The same on the wing, striker to centre forward, cam to centre mid. It all works out well. Also, using position changes and chemistry styles, you can change your player's position, which people, for example, you might see a Balassi at a left wing, and you're playing a 4-2-3-1, in brackets too, and you want to play him left mid. So what people often do is change their position to the left mid, and then sell them on for a higher price, because at the time there will not be many players of that changed position at the start of the game. And if people click onto that left mid Balassi, they'll see that there's only two of them. Mine's the cheapest. They won't check the left wing, and then they'll buy it, which obviously it's overpriced. You're kind of mistaken in them into buying your player, and it's a pretty decent method. Also, with managers, what you can do is buy a manager for like 300 coins, for example, a gold cheap manager. And what often people want is good managers in good leagues. And so what people do, they won't actually check the manager. They'll only check the league and the price. As long as they're gold, they'll sell. And often manager leagues, people don't think they go for much, and they'll put them up cheap. You can easily put that onto a manager of 500 coins, for example, and the gold managers in that league might go for 2k. So that's a 1.5k profit, and that is a pretty good method at the start of the game as well. So a couple more useful methods are investing in real life performances. And so, for example, lately Lacazette, he ended up getting a hat trick in his first game. So he was going to rise 500 coins, 1,000 coins, etc. But for example, a Champions League final, any big tournaments, any big games, if people get hat tricks, score crazy goals, then their price will rise dramatically. And like I said, for example, Lacazette was one. Coutinho with his crazy free kick against Arsenal, he would have raised 500 to 1,000 coins. It's all good. Good profit right there. Probably the best method, in my opinion, is investing in Irish Cup players. So the St. Patrick's Cup during Team of the Year, which is obviously over Christmas time. And honestly, you can, for example, this bloke here, James McLean, at the start of the year, you see, decent stats for a silver, probably one of their best wingers. At the start of the year, he's going for a matter of a couple of K. Soren St. Patrick's, he'll go for 15k. You buy 10 of them, you make 12k on each, that's 120k. If you have a big enough transfer list, you can do this method so well. You can literally make millions during the Irish Cup, and just using these techniques in general, you can make 100k a day. And at the start of the day, maybe 10, 20k a day. But obviously, once the game comes out, you can make bigger profits as the game goes on. And just a little technique, actually, when it comes to bidding. If you're looking at someone like Aaron Ramsey, for example, and you're going on the bid, don't bid 100 coins, because it's boring, and it's a safe way to keep them. It's to keep them getting involved in the bidding. If you're going to scare them off, bid 500 coins at a time, they'll see that you really want the player, and it's not worth going up against you to buy the player. So that is all for this trading technique, guys. What I'm going to do now is finish my commentary, and I'll leave you up all the techniques on the screen just for you to see. So if I'm talking too fast and you're struggling to understand right at the end, I have all the techniques left up there and all the tips. But that is all for today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, and hopefully you can make some big profits on FIFA 17. But subscribe if you're new, guys. My name is Bristol Bot, and I'm out. Peace.